I hope I'm live now. Just checking. Give me a few seconds and then I'll start. Okay, great. I'm live now. So let me just share my screen and then I can start. I hope the screen is visible. Is it visible, guys?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, friends, welcome to the finance basic session today. Uh, as a part of tribute to my dad, my late dad, whose birthday falls today, and as is was as was his say endeavor always to share with his students, always going out of the way. So I'm just trying to follow in his footsteps, and you'll listen to many things today, which you actually may have listened in parts, but are not exactly in my any of the sessions. So thanks to Lord Almighty, who's given me much more than what I deserve. So you are aware of my brief biodata that is there. So this is after 30th June. This is my mini day of education as a part of my tribute to my father. So this is the Zoom demo session for finance. We earlier did on practice management on Friday. So the very basics we may be knowing, but we may not be actually implementing it, or in a way that we have been told in a way that it could have been effective in our daily life, which makes a difference to us. Because if we follow it honestly, believe me, we will not have problems those we usually face commonly. So today is the presentation on basics of finance, starting with the very those things, very minor things, which sometimes do make a lot of big difference over. So financial planning, we all know, is a process which provides us a framework so that our life goes on systematically and in a planned manner. Life does not give us shocks and surprises. If we have any eventuality in our life and we are, say, prepared for it, and we do not fall into the traps which are there all around us for, say, various purposes. So the first thing always in basics is managing your own money. And believe me, it is not a rocket science, and you need not be a CA to do that. You just need to be financially literate, and you need to show just a bit of commitment to learning. And because deciding to save is the first step towards money management. As I say always, that wealth creation begins from tax saving. Similarly, say planning to invest begins with deciding to save first. And saving money will be the most powerful tool. And because we are all used to, say, our vicious economic financial life cycle, in which I have already discussed many times that our life cycles uh, start pretty late compared to our other 10 plus 1 plus 2 colleagues of, say, commerce or humanities, and almost a decade late when we start earning properly. And we start splurging on credit cards, which is the most expensive and the worst form of debt. And believe me, remember this line, say it to you, as we say affirmations or positive affirmations, we always say, repeat this line to you: credit card is the most expensive form of debt. Because you miss one payment and you will realize that what kind of a trap you're falling into. And we all have financial goals in our mind, because every investment will start with saving. And before saving, we need to have goals in mind: buying a vehicle or a smartphone or wealth accumulation or planning for retirement. All that will come from properly managing your money. And for that, you got to have savings. And saving money helps you avoid falling into those debt traps. If you have emergency money saved with you for your rainy days, as we say, the rainy days are going on since the March end for all of us. So they can all actually make us save, and regularly doing that will make us rich as well if we do not use that money. And obviously, when we have good amount of money in hand, we can achieve our financial goals as well in a timely manner. And all of you might be wondering how to save and how much to save, because these are the questions nobody answers. Somebody will, like me, will come and give a lecture, create wealth, save tax, but nobody will tell you how to save and how much to save. Because usually we have a habit, salary I या payment I from any patient, you just pay off every of your looming expenses on your head. I always give a tip to the private practitioners that use your corpus, or I won't say corpus, but your monthly, say, collection like a salaried person. Again, one aspect which I have been doing since the first day of my clinic, I used to collect in a small box, or a kind of a, say, zipper kind of a pencil holding box, as the kids have it. We used to have it 20 years back. So I used to put in my money in there, and I used to take it out from the on the next first or the second of the month, uh, collecting that. And I used to treat that amount as a salary, because again, the self-employed will have this common problem. पैसे आए कहाँ गए कहाँ, we don't know actually. आते हैं और चले भी जाते हैं, and sometimes there are expenses which we feel are urgent, but which might not be actually. So again, once you are, say, 7 to 10 years old in practice, your expenses will be on the higher side, your incomes will be side, for say, keeping that 30-day credit cycle with you yourself, as I have advised you to take out the money after 1 month, will be a difficult thing. So the sooner you start, the sooner you can develop this habit of saving. This is one brilliant tip to save if you can. So we usually say have different type of expenses like EMIs, investment, savings. So we all should know that first thing, the credit card representing the image over here is like this only, practically, unless or until it is a high-end credit card and gives you more advantages than it gives you losses, which is only going to be there if you are a, say, HNI, or high net worth investor, or a high net worth individual, as we call it. So for us, the simple cycle would be to save, sorry, first earn, save, build wealth, and then invest, or invest and build wealth. Both the things are going on side by side. So for laymen, as we always say, save minimum 10%. For professionals like us, it is always good to save minimum 20% of your gross income every month. Gross income means your total collection. It can be very simple, but just I gave you an example of a piggy bank kind of a thing. Don't do that actually. To just to save, I mean to say, the recurrent months after you have say saved that 1 month of piggy bank, don't go on putting that into your piggy bank, because an idle money in a piggy bank won't grow. That was the only tip to give you an advantage vis-a-vis the salaried people who are having actually this kind of say, I will not say in a wrong way, but in a way they have this mentality that एक से 5 या 1 से 7 के बीच में salary आएगी, and then we'll do all the expenses, which is not a bad thing to have, because once they are nearing 25th or 26th of a month, they know that their salary is at least 10 to 11 days away. They'll cut down on their expenses, which sometimes self-employed like us will never do. Again, putting money in your, say, jo bhi bacha, putting that in a nationalized saving bank account will again not fetch high returns. So either the option should be minimum to put in an investment of your choice. So in today's time, in altered times, in post COVID times, altered say times due to coronavirus, so we believe that minimum investment that generates 7% should be the aim, which was till 5 months back, we used to say minimum 10%, so that it beats the inflation. Now, considering that everything has rationalized or corrected itself by two-thirds, up to two-thirds, means it has come down by one-third. What was valued at 100 is now valued at 65 to 70. because our wants have decreased considerably. The reason being the money which used to be splurged on multiplexes, malls, shopping, say dining out, vacations, resorts, where whatever places is actually now curbed to a great extent. Of course, we are still having some itch to do so, but yes, that money is being corrected. And considering an average family has a 30% of that cycle or a 25% of that cycle of wants, if you calculate that, because it varies from individual or family to family differently. So if we believe that in the past 5 months, that has been almost totally eliminated, at least this segment of our wants, which were never the needs as well. And sometimes people have their wants as high as 50%, which is actually a sinister crime. You should not be having it. Actually, the COVID-19 scenario gave us a say situation where we could actually analyze that where our money had been going. Yes, now even the inputs are less considering our incomes have been cut down drastically. But yes, we are learning to live with our needs primarily. It won't be once the situation normalizes, we will automatically go back to our say money throwing ways, I'll say. But yes, this has given us a halt in life, at least to look upon certain things where we were actually making a mistake, where was the error being done, and accordingly we can actually say save on our money. And once we develop the habit of saving, we have to do it on a continuous basis. And once we do it, you can see the magic before your eyes yourself. And money literally will grow like a tree for you if you actually say start doing or developing that habit. Because money begets money is the one common saying or the common approach. Once you have more money, it automatically starts growing, and it grows to an extent that it'll start giving you equivalent to the saving of what you are doing once you have a good corpus. And that is the power of compounding. So if you are living from say monthly salary or paycheck as we call them, and you are struggling for say needs or your money even before the month ends, then there are good chances that you have been literally splurging money on unwanted things. So whatever you are or you have been doing, you need to actually drastically cut down on that. Means there have been a lot of unplanned expenses in your life. So there might not be sometimes money leaving to pay off your bills, to your necessities, to your needs, because the money was being say spent unwisely on say wants. But then I've been doing it in a different way when I give the budgeting formula. This is the reverse way of doing it. I'm just telling you to make a budget. Unless you have a budget, you will not be able to control your cash flow. You need to really segregate your total money in a way which goes to your clinic expenses, which goes to your say home expenses, say and other ways and means which actually say have been detrimental in causing a problem. So before you have a budget against your eyes, you will not be able to control your cash flow. And budget will simply tell you that how much money is coming and how these funds are being spent. And that is the beauty. Once we know it, we write it. Writing is believing. Seeing is believing. We know that. But once it is in front of it, writing becomes believing. So categorize your expenses, which are there and which can be divided: fixed and variable, urgent and non-urgent, necessities and luxuries, avoidable and unavoidable. These are the various categories you really need to develop. Of those of you who have been maintaining, say, personal expense record, either on an Excel sheet or on a diary or whatever way, you can actually go back uh, just to last year, if I may say so, from March 19 to August 2019 or September 2019. Just see how did you do money wise in the past in the 6 months of your last year, how you actually spent that money. Once you do that, you can segregate those and make a list of the ones which you have to do. That is the only way to do. And because one, as I said, once you convert things from abstract to physical, you'll get a better hold of it. Once you have them in written कि इतना तो मुझे करना ही है, इतना तो मुझे देना ही है monthly expense, you'll automatically cut down on your wants. And cutting down on your wants is always if you are not saving and say planning for retirement properly. So you can create a hierarchy of needs and decide which ones to address first. Again, as we say in practice management also, it is all about prioritization. What do you have? Many of you ask me how I do so many things at a time. The only thing is I just need know how to prioritize. There may be many things in my life which may look important to others, but they might not be actually important to me. So I definitely defer them for the later stage, and I address only those which are important to me right now. And that is the way I am able to concentrate and focus fully on the task in hand. My family has been cribbing for 2 3 days past, do this thing, do that thing, do this thing. I'm saying meet me on 13th. They're living in the same, we are living in same house. I just said meet me on 13th. I'm busy till 12th, so I have this priority on hand. So that is the way I actually decide, and I always I tell only what I do myself. Practice what you preach, as they say. So you need to accept that you, once you have been having limited resources and unlimited wants, you really need to don't need a rocket science to know that where you need to put a plug on. So you have to manage your resources properly, and especially in these times when the incomes are not coming exactly in proportion to what they were. Yes, I said our correction in expenses has been by one third to 65 to 70, but our incomes have also come down from 100 to maybe 50 or maybe even less, for some at least, if not for all. But for a majority, they have come down to minimum 50 out of 100 if they have total collection was 100 before. So the only thing is it is all impulsive buying. The approach we I always use is the FOMO approach and the YOLO approach, the fear of missing out and you only live once philosophy. So to an extent it is fine if you are say covered for your, say, all the mishaps, you're covered for your retirements, go on splurging your money, nobody stops you. But once you haven't done those basic aspects correctly, you need to actually say address those things first before you say allocate money to entertainment or leisure or any kind of different kind of wants. So to avoid overspending, you can create a list of groceries before visiting the departmental store. Because again, once we see so many things laid out, again, there is a lot of impulsive buying over there. ये भी ले लो, ये भी ले लो, शायद ये भी काम आ जाए, शायद लॉकडाउन फिर से लग जाए. All those things come into your mind, and you start say spending actually more than your budget, especially if the grocery store is just at an arm's length to your place. Why do you need to really stock in a heavy thing unless you have gone say 15 kilometers or miles to a big bazaar or a metro or a say Bharti store or a D-Mart, which actually gives you a good discount. Even then it does not make any sense. 15-kilometer petrol would be to and fro would be 200 rupees maximum in any car. So just to save those 200 rupees of a repeat visit, we actually spend more than 2000 extra. So this is the thing actually we need to look at it very, very say clearly. Even I tried it out once very recently, only last month only. I went in with a list, and I just had I have my kitchen pantry over here where I do my basic cooking part, because some of the people visit me, so that we have all the tea and the snack program over here only in my clinic pantry. So just took a list, and I just had an idea that I'll be says spending around maximum 7 to 800 over those list of items I'm going to buy. And I did not curb myself in any way when I went there. I just bought those things again only for kitchen pantry, not for anything else. I bought all things I liked, that ये भी मैं काम आ जाएगी खाने की, ये भी आ जाएगी, ये भी आ जाएगी. Ultimately I ended up spending around 2500 rupees. It was just almost say I will say 3 times. It was just a demo exercise done by me to just see that whether we all fall into that trap. We not rarely but usually do. Another way to say regulate your expenses wisely can be assign a no spend day week, day in the week, and make sure you say commit to your budget, and consider it as a commitment rather than a burden. मतलब मन से फीलिंग आनी चाहिए, ये नहीं कि जबरदस्ती करनी है वो चीज. So that is the only way to draw the boundaries or draw the limitations, as we say. So regulating your expenses and going to the budget is one wise way. So then the important thing is dealing with the surplus cash judiciously. Not always we'll have the reverse. कि पैसे कम है और expenses ज़्यादा हैं. Sometimes it is the reverse situation also. Obviously, I'm discounting the COVID times. I'm thinking or saying about the normal times. We had a windfall of income. Two NRIs bumped in at the end of the month, and they gave us a huge amount of money. And the total expenditure or sorry, the total income of the clinic, which used to be 1 or 1.5x usually, suddenly became 3x or 4x. X is the normal amount what you are earning, so it suddenly became 2.5, 3 or 4x of that. So what do? Man mein laddu phuta approach comes in again. So you really don't know how to use that surplus cash. When you don't have a plan, that is the time you actually indulge in overspending. But that money could be used to make yourself self-sufficient. We have to remember that inflation is say eating into our savings every year. I have explained it many a times. Whatever the government figures are there, 3%, 4%, 5%, their figures hover between 3 to 6% only, whereas the actual cost of living increases by 10%. Similar to exercise that I gave you just a few moments back. Take out your expenses of last March to September. Just see what was your monthly needs. Just look out at the needs part, not at the wants part, I will say, because as I said, you're going to segregate. So just look at your needs right now. You will be able to compare that your living life has gone up by minimum 10%. It can be more or around that, but it will never be at 5% or nearly even equal to the government figure. So we have to actually understand the money decreases in value, the cost of living increases. So we get say we get bitten on the double aspect. So the only problem is that when I tell people to invest, the aim should be just to beat the inflation. We always say that. And just try to understand this philosophy once for all. I have told you that cost of living increases by 10%. So 10% is your inflation. Let's suppose, again, just talking about the normal times, not the COVID times. Just imagine you're put in a mutual fund which is giving you 12 to 15%. Of course, presently they are down as well. But again, I'm saying just discount the COVID times. So the aim is that some money is growing at 12 to 15. Obviously, you can't put in the whole money at equity. Equity still comes at a risk. Put in some money in a say government security like a PPF, which used to be around 7.9 or 8, and use a hedge. Hedge means a balancing thing like a gold to balance out those things, so that you at least grow by 10%. That 10% growth of your sleeping income is mandatory. It can be 1% plus minus, that is understandable. If that is plus minus, that is where the role of your segregation of expenses comes in. If you are knowing that your money is not growing optimally, you have to cut down on your wants correspondingly, or say proportionately, so that your splurges are also less, so that your cost of living also becomes less. The needs cannot be compromised. The bijli bill, pani bill, all those necessities, the ration, all those things have to be done. We have to live life reasonably. We can't cut down on that. The only thing we can cut down is the wants, especially if the money is not growing. Consider a scenario if the COVID was not there, but a similar kind of economy crash has happened, where the mutual funds have come down, where the say growth of economy is not taking place. What will be the first thing which you will limit or which you will say cut down on? The first thing which you will cut is your wants. Obviously, you can't cut your cost of living. You can't cut drastically your clinic expenses. You can't say shortlist your staff कि चार लोग काम कर रहे हैं तो सीधा आप दो पे आ जाओ. Even that is not possible. Loyal staff is very difficult to find. So the best thing or the first thing you can cut is the say wants section, or the one we splurge on. So this is the beauty of COVID-19, I will say, that it has accorded us both rather three things: the time, energy, and the endeavor to analyze those things which were actually our uh, which are expense eaters, or say money eaters, I will say. And then it has say rationalize the economy as well. And the third part, that even if we had money, we can't go. We can't go to a multiplex, we can't go to a vacation, we can't go for shopping in similar manner as we do it. So it's not entirely that COVID has done everything bad. You have to thank COVID for certain good things as well in life. But then if you don't invest properly, your money will not grow. Keeping in savings at 3% or 4% will not make you say richer in any way. There was a joke on WhatsApp a couple of days back. If you want your savings, want to teach your children the power of compounding in a savings account, remember the money doubles in 19863 19863 years. Actually, on the lighter side only, it doesn't take 19,000 years to grow. But what they mean is that the saving returns are so say down that you can't actually expect a saving account to double your money. And if you don't do that, the only thing is you have to work beyond your 70s to pay your bills. Luckily, self-employed don't have a retirement age, but then you don't work like a donkey whole your life. You have to, the only, when I speak on retirement investment planning, the first thing I tell is to draw a line yourself. When you want to retire, you should be able to pick and choose what you do in life. And working after even 70s, obviously health permitting, that is the first criterion for a dentist. uh, Health permitting only, health issues, back and neck issues not there. But even if they are there or not there, that is a secondary thing. Why do you want to keep working till that age? Then you'll not be able to retire anywhere, or forever you will be working. So investing is a great way to channelize that extra cash and counter inflation. If you have extra cash, remember, you if you have 3x, if you have say 2x extra of that, 1x is your normal, say let's suppose 1 lakh is your normal income, and get 3 lakh in hand. So what to do for that extra 2x or 2 lakh? That is the way you can do two things. You can say invest so that you are covered for a couple of months, in uh, in a couple of coming months as well. Or you can use that money to pay off your debt if you are having any. So investing can be used to grow wealth and create divert it to goal accomplishment. And the golden formula always is, the earlier you start, so the better you invest, or the better you return, better you return you get. So investing shouldn't be a difficult and a boring task. And again, I'll go back to the practice management thing, and we discussed on Friday about goal setting. The one line I'm very fond of also, and I use it very commonly also about planning. It is imperative to keep end in mind. Know where you are and where you want to go. Similarly, in say investment, we should perceive it as a bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Where you are in terms of finances. Let's suppose I am standing at a corpus of 20 lakhs today. I want to go to a corpus of 3 crores in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. You have to draw and divide accordingly. So it is all about stretching your budget, which you all actually need to know. So how do we do that? Start with identifying your goals, like a car or a planning for retirement, and then categorize into short term, long term, medium term, whatever. So ultra short we say is up to say 0 to 6 months, 9 months max. Then 1 to 3 years are the short term goals. Then the medium term are the 3 to 5, and beyond 5 are the long term goals. So you have to identify your risk appetite as well. What is, say, if you are say able to take a higher risk or not, it will depend upon what kind of say investments or adventurous investments you can make. So if you fall in the say 20% value of investments, you will be deemed as a high risk taker, or else you are a risk averse person. There is nothing wrong in that or right in that. It is all about your own capability or your own surplus cash, what you have. People do actually a high risk say seeking activity in stock market, in say hope to get money back or a cash back as soon as possible, which is actually wrong. So you can conveniently select your investment depending upon your risk appetite. Again, if you have a higher risk appetite, you can go in for a small cap funds, which have a history of giving you even 30 to 35% returns, as huge as, but there are risks of them going totally bust, totally going at zero. So a risk seeker may say seek a higher equity percentage. As I always describe the percentage, the formula used is 100 minus age. In Indian conditions, we always say that it is 80 minus your age. So that means if you're 30, your equity investment can be up to 50%. That is the amount of risk you can take. Because at 30, you'll be having less amount to grow, less amount to throw, both the things. At 40, your risk factor comes down to 80 minus 40 to 40%, because by that you will have some money built up. You will not want to ruin that built up corpus already. That is the way it goes down with age. As you go up, you are having a huge corpus comparatively what you were having at 30. Yes, considering if you maintain your good habits. But for other people who are not, they have to develop this habit, sure. So I hope you're not feeling sleepy right in the morning with the finance lecture. So then planning for retirement always, as I say, alternate trip, because it is very important than what it was a few years ago. The reason, because we are now with increased, say, life expectancy because of the improvement in medical services, we're going to live longer than our previous generation. But then we are more prone to a sedentary lifestyle, and the ailments like diabetes, hypertension, and heart attacks are going more common. People in even their mid 20s are getting a, say, cardiac arrest. That is a very, say, uh, uh, wrong thing, if I may say that way. So healthcare cost is also increasing in with each year, and unless because in India we don't have a social security number kind of a thing. We have a Aadhaar number which is similar to that, but till now, again, the social security is not there. But then again, there is not the government to be blamed for this. The only person that can be blamed is we. If 5% of the Indian people are paying taxes, 95% are bearing fruits of that. You can't expect the economy to grow, and you can't expect the government to give you everything. If you're not willing to give back to government, then how do you expect that you'll be getting a payback or a cashback from the government? So it is always better to start retirement planning as soon as you can, because otherwise the feeling of procrastination will set in. 8:30 was supposed to be the launch of a procrastination article. Obviously, I'll be launching after the webinar, written by Dr. Bhavna. She's wonderfully written it. Just go through that article. Procrastination is the amongst dentists. It is the mother of all evils. So all the retirement planning, if you keep on postponing, like मैं कल से जिम जाऊंगा, मैं कल से नोट्स बनाऊंगा, मैं कल से करूंगा, वो कल कभी नहीं आता. It's always better to start today, because you need to live in present. You can't say keep on कल कुछ ना कुछ और हो जाएगा, and then you'll crib वो कल मैंने time था, मैं कल क्यों नहीं किया. And because improper retirement planning will never let us retire from our job. You need to make a certain tick marks in your life if you actually want to enjoy your retirement. It is not about working and always working. So the earlier you start, the richer you retire. Again, the power of compounding comes into play. Albert Einstein called it as the eighth wonder of the world. So you can retire early and lead to a hassle-free life. But then again, I'll start from there. How will you decide that when you want to retire? As I said, make a few goals, make a list of your expenditure, and decide a age. I usually keep that cutoff at 55. That 55 is an optimum age considering you are physically fit. If you're not physically fit, you are having ailments, any cardiac ailments, any, say, hypertension or any similar ailments which are already starting eating into your, say, healthy life, I will say, then you need to cut down that below, even before that. But for a healthy male or a female, I will say the good age to retire is 55. You should enjoy your retirement. At 55, you're not that old, although the number might sound so. But I have seen many young 55-year-olds around me in my locality. And yes, they're working still. but not that ways, but in a healthy lifestyle. They actually say are enjoying life in a way. So 55 is not a say old age, I will say, to retire. So I have seen my dad at 75 when he turned 75 2 years back. He was fit and healthy, and nobody called him even 65. He was fond of putting a hair dye, so he said, "I don't want to look old." It was his say endeavor. So we never objected to it. Whatever you do, but the kind of fitness he had, he didn't have any comorbidity, not even blood pressure, diabetes, nothing. In spite of having a family history of his parents having it, he never had it. He was fit. He was say walking fit or fighting fit, I will say, and he looked like 65 at 75. So then that is the reason I tell 55 is not a say wrong age to retire if you choose so. Then you have to decide how much money do you need. जैसे टैक्स का मैं आई ऑलवेज टेल टू प्लान इन रिवर्स, सिमिलरली प्लान इन रिवर्स. 60 पे रिटायर होना है, 50 पे रिटायर होना है, आपने इन्वेस्टमेंट कितनी करनी. देयर आर ऑल काइंड्स ऑफ रिटायरमेंट कैलकुलेटर्स अवेलेबल ऑल ओवर कि मेरे को कॉर्पस कितना चाहिए. Let's suppose for a 1 crore corpus in 30 years, you need to say contribute 2,900 every month at the return of 12%. Use a retirement or a SIP calculator available online. Put in a age, starting age. Let's suppose you are 35. You want to retire in 20 years at 55. 20 years, you need to build up a corpus of, let's suppose, 2 crore, 3 crore, whatever amount. And similarly, assume the return on the lower side. And then check out the amount, what you need to save. This is the reverse way to calculate. And that will tell you actually that itna to aapko dalna hi dalna hai in your retirement planning. And once you do that, treat it like a fixed expense or a fixed living expense, as I say. कि इतना तो मुझे डालना ही है, इतना तो जैसे अगर बिजली का बिल आता है इतना मुझे देना है, तो ये रिटायरमेंट का इतना बिल मुझे देना ही देना. दैट इज द वे यू कैन एक्चुअली से पुट इन अ राइडर ऑन योर सेल्फ दैट this becomes a mandatory exercise for all of you, because this is the way you can plan. I have planned for today's day. I've planned for 30th June. You all seen it. How I have gone about it. What kind of things I have done. It requires a lot of planning. Editing an article, working on an article, it needs sometimes as good as 10 days even. And if I'm working in my clinic, I need sometimes even more. I have a family also along with. So the thing is, I have small kids also to give attention to. It is not only that I'm doing dentistry the whole day. So I have balanced out my life in a way. I have my own me time as well. So the only best thing would be for every aspect in life is planning. If you plan well, really well, the results would always be good. Lord Almighty will always be with you. Yes, there might be a few exceptions with everyone. It happens with me also. But then that is where the power of your DDWP comes in: determination, dedication, and willpower. So the stronger you develop that, the more you're able to do that. Then lastly, manage your debt wisely. My dad, being a banker, gave me this advice: "Tu kamata rahega, bank khata rahega." That is the one line he always used before, whenever I wanted to put in a, say, investment for a loan. We always say take fresh loans to pay off our older loans. And at times it becomes difficult. हमारे 4-4 6-6 loan चल रहे हो. And because of those loans, because when I give that formula of 50-30-20 or my altered Bhavdi formula of 45-15-40, I tell that 20 or the 40 percentage that is reserved for RIP, alternate RIP, or the retirement investment planning. I always tell that you should use that portion, at least half of that minimum, to pay off your debt. The sooner you are debt free, the earlier you will become, say, focused towards your retirement goal. Otherwise, all these things will get sidelined, and believe me, you will never be able to save for your retirement. So the best thing is that you need to actually know, again, knowing of where you are and where you want to go. Make a schedule to pay off your debts. The best thing is pick up the most expensive one first, which is actually eating a lot into your expenses, which is a lot into your savings, I will say. Then credit cards are the worst form of debt. We are happy to see that we get a 50-day credit period. Believe me, the day we miss our installment, minimum charges, or pay just the minimum charges, the finance charges, the late payment charges, the interest charges, all 3 or 4 kind of charges start applying. And believe me, the debt is, we may say, यार अगर देना भी पड़ गया तो whatever it is, कितना amount, it is just 3 to 4% only. That 3 to 4% is per month, which translates to 36 to 48%. On an average, credit card debt has been supposed to be 40 to 42%. And believe me, 40 to 42% is criminal, absolutely criminal to pay when you're not getting a return of even 5 to 6% on a FD or a savings. Remember, even on a mutual fund, the past 5 year returns are down to 4.82%. Obviously, they'll be again rising, no doubt about it. But what I'm talking is right now, on one hand, we are having a return of 5%, and on the other hand, we are paying back 40%. How will we balance out that 35%? So you again don't fall into the lure of paying off the minimum balance as such, because that interest will spiral up to eat up all your savings. The same line my dad used: "Tu kamayega, bank khayega." And make it a point to use credit card only in case of emergency. As if, unless you are a high net worth individual or a high net worth investor, so you will not be getting a good credit card, or say, if I may say so, of say a platinum level or a titanium level credit card. So always keep debt as your last resort and make down full payments for your purchases. I'm not a say koi BJP fan, but thank this government for at least introducing portability in the loans sector as well. You can actually say look for portability options for loans as well. You can port your or transfer your, like your SIM card, like your say mobile number, to another bank which offers you a lesser rate of interest. So in this way, you will save a lot of money that is going out as interest. Then never borrow for assets which are depreciating. I'm not talking about the basic car, but a luxury car like a BMW, like a Audi, like a Range Rover, kind of things where you cannot actually, where you have to show to borrow. And those are depreciating assets. They're decreasing in value 5, 10, 20% every year. And the amount of the worth that is there, you have already paid less than of that as the EMI. And then always avoid tax inefficient loans like personal loans. What do I mean by it? Housing loan comes with the advantage. The interest is also getting deduction under section 24. The principal is also getting deduction under section 80C, the principal repayment of the home loan. Those are tax efficient loans. A personal loan always has a higher say debt rate or a higher interest rate, and also it will say it will never be falling under the tax bracket. So अगर आपके पर्सनल लोन चल रहे हैं तो उनको इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट को उससे कोई लेना देना नहीं है. You have no tax rebate or deduction over it available over it. So learn to manage your debt wisely. So these are the few basics which I wanted all of you to build on. And you can think of saving and building a corpus to fulfill your goals. And in this way, you can avoid falling into the debt trap. Debt trap, managing your money, managing your surplus cash, and budgeting yourself are the few things which you actually need to know as a part of basics. So thank you so much. So the next session for the free group is today only at 4 p.m. How to check the health of your bank. Again, paid group participants are free to log in. But again, there are 1,300 people in 5 groups, and we have 100 slots only. So, and for the paid group, the next session will be in the last week of August. I'll be taking a break of 10 to 12 days from this rigorous schedule, which I've been following since the past at least 4-5 days continuously, more than a week rather. So it'll be in the evening at 8 p.m. the last week of August on MLE. So as I propose to have one demo session each on all the 3 subjects. The date is not yet decided, but should be in the last week of August. I'll notify you at least 2-3 days before. So YouTube channel, you all know I'll be posting videos. What about this video? I'm not really sure whether I'll be posting this or not. But again, I'll appreciate your valuable feedback to be posted in the group only. Bookers and Brickbats both welcome in equal measure. If you feel it has benefited you in any way, that today is a basic finance lecture. And yes, I tried that almost all the slides are new and nothing of that is there. So thank you so much. And I stop my screen for share and before I take up the queries. So kindly unmute yourself and ask any queries if you have. Dr. Mayur says, is there a benefit on loan against property? That only serves as a mortgage purpose. It does not accord you any tax advantage, Mayur. Can home loan be, Shripal asks, can home loan be beneficial considering, you can unmute yourself and ask, no worries. So can home loan be beneficial considering tax benefits? Of course, home loan, as I said, the interest also gets a deduction or a rebate in income tax. The principal also gets a deduction because the when we talk of the principal, when we are paying back, the limit is 1.5. Then we are not looking at the tax saving, we are looking at the wealth creation part. Look at those things. If my wealth creation, as I have told many a times, finishes on 2nd April when I put in 1.5 in PPF straight away. My ELSS goes separately. My say policy premiums, my endowment plans are also running as a part of goal process. So they are also running in a different way. So I don't look at that part. So minimum, I always believe that for any one of you who is starting up or wants to invest a good amount for your retirement, the basic minimum startup should be 40,000 per month or 5 lakh per year. If you multiply it, becomes 4 lakh 80 only. Minimum 5 lakh of amount for 10 years. Believe me, you will end up more than 1.5 crores. If you just multiply it, it is around what 5 lakhs per year, and in 10 years it will be 50 lakhs. It becomes straight away say 1 point almost 3 times 1.4 1.5 crore, going by the decent return of 10 to 12% as well. Just check out on the retirement calculator only. So this is the power of compounding. When you have money, when the money is more, it actually starts earning itself. So home loan interest versus tax benefit, yes, Shripal. So after SIP in 5 years in a mutual fund, I want to shift in a safe plan. What is the place? So Sabyasachi, you are not that old to shift in a say safe place after 5 years. You need to do it for a longer term. Believe me, we say that 5 years and more of running SIP carries a say lesser risk of cutting a loss, but we don't look at that figure only for 5 years. You should look at a better figure returns wise if you want to earn well. Because when your money is actually say started earning, you want to withdraw from there. Your first installment or the first year of installments will complete 4 years, but the one you paid just a year back has completed 1 year. If you've done lump sum and done 5 years, then that is a different matter. But SIP for 5 years does not mean that the whole amount and amount is 5 years. If you look at that way, SIP 5 साल की है तो आप 10 साल के लिए सोचो कम से कम, तो सो दैट जो 5 साल पहले इंस्टॉलमेंट दी थी उसको 5 साल हो गए. That is the best way to look at it. People misguided, many tax investors advisors misguided. 5 साल सिप में डाल दो, 5 साल बाद निकाल देना. अरे बॉस, जो 1 महीना पहले इन्वेस्टमेंट डाली वो कैसे ग्रो हो जाएगी? हाउ कैन यू इमेजिन इट टू ग्रो इन अ मंथ? सेविंग में डालोगे तो कितना ग्रो करेगा 1 महीने में? 10,000 के पीछे 3%, 4%. तो मल्टीप्लाई इट एंड डिवाइड बाय 12. हाउ मच एक्चुअल अमाउंट विल यू बी गेटिंग? सो व्हाई डू यू एक्सपेक्ट द सेम एट सिप? सिप कोई मैजिक वॉन्ड नहीं है दैट विल गिव यू ऑल काइंड ऑफ रिटर्न्स. So Rohit asks your take on ULIPs as tax saving options. Uh, Ever since the ULIP crisis happened, say 10 years back, my father and me actually stopped doing investments in ULIPs. ULIPs are basically unit-linked insurance plans, and that was the time actually the term plan culture also caught up. So now, right now, what is advisable is that we keep our investment and insurance separate. Do not mix both of them. As a part of endowment exercise, you can, but don't look at it as a purpose of tax. There are so many tax saving instruments available. If you just look at the returns wise, Rohit, number one has been ELSS or the equity ones. Number two has been NPS, again 80CCD 1B, but that comes under 80C as well. If somebody wants to has a good say income, he can put in 20% of that straight away in NPS only. So that means you can do it straight away 2 lakhs in NPS and get 80C and 80CCD 1B benefit both. So 1.5 plus 50,000 separate. Then the third option is PPF or Sukanya. Sukanya is a bias scheme, I always say, because it is for the girl child and that too below 10 years. You start below 10 years. So I don't count that, but Sukanya interests are 0.5 always more than PPF. So this was the order of, say, preference of investment of ATC as well. So why do I need to look at beyond the top three when I have top three or top four already available, especially if I add Sukanya to that list as well? So why do I even need to look at ULIPs as such? So fixed deposits versus mutual funds, which are more beneficial? Dr. Pavan, I always give this today's wealth creation lecture. This FD slide will be common in that. So do it and either of the same. FD is a very, very, very add many as many varies you can poor investment. So considering the returns. So this is one slide I always have the end of my presentation in the wealth creation one. So catch me up at 12 noon or 8 p.m. in the evening. So surely. Mayur asks your take on gold investment regarding current trend. Gold has been falling in the past 2 days. Mayur, it was a bubble which had to burst. Yes, it was speculated to go till 70. It touched 55 as well. 58 as well. But now it is again coming down. Even the silver had a fall. So gold has to be a hedge only. But in the past 1 year, the gold has grown by 20%. There is no investment that is growing by that much in the past 1 year. It was 42,000. Now it came up to 53,000. If I talk, even in that sense, it is 20%. But it went up to 58, which is say even more than 20%, 25, 24%, if I may say so. And it was a bubble. And it was only there because the fuel prices was going down. Remember, aviation industry was all set to grow and improve, considering the decrease in fuel prices. But their bad luck, COVID-19, the flight demand also went down along with the fuel prices. So it is only the fuel which is causing the gold to create such a ruckus. The gold, yes, it grows. It has a wonderful track record, but it is only a hedge. Hedge, I always say, it is a thing to balance out. जो चीज आपका इधर का बैलेंस करके आपको एवरेज 10% दे दे. You always say 10 से 15% गोल्ड में डालो if you can afford to, not beyond that. But if you think to that इस वक्त म्यूचुअल फंड नहीं दे रहे हैं और कुछ नहीं दे रहा है, सेविंग नहीं दे रहा, तो मैं गोल्ड में डाल दूं जिसका एक साल का रिकॉर्ड 20-25% है, तो you will be in for a surprise if you do that. So Dr. Shruti sir, being a new clinic owner, the incoming is less and outgoing is lot. As investment, even careful investment on equipments and instruments is a lot. How to manage? Ma'am, the first thing is always to increase your treatment charges in today's times. Whatever may be the purchase power, we are treating less. So I have given a formula on this many a times. So I'll be detailing on this treatment charges part in the two upcoming sessions of World Dental Association on 16th and 30th of August, the 2 Sundays, the coming Sunday and one Sunday after that. So I'll be dealing on the treatment charges and the expenses part in depth. So as there were studies only put by Dr. Ajit Chitgupi yesterday only, that the aerosol study is coming about the spread. So all those investments, those some of us who have done, say, might have been going down in vain. So these are the things you really need to say study. The only thing is investments, don't look at the investments, the total portion. Always look at the portion it actually we add in the expenses, which we all call as the written down value or the depreciation. For any dental equipment, unless otherwise specified, it is about 15%. So let's suppose you bought an equipment for 1 lakh, you will put in only 15,000 at the cost of that in your expenses, because that is its wear and tear value, as we say it in simple terminology. Don't look at that 1 lakh, look at that 15,000, which is your expense, because that is the portion expense that is to be done. So Dr. Bhavan Chand asks, what is the best way to manage and save excess amount in the form of cash? The only thing is you need to first have your term plan in place. You need to have your medical insurance in place. You need to have your emergency fund in place. Then if you don't have any big purchase coming up in the next 5 years, incidental aside, any mishap aside, but if these things, three things are covered, fourth not coming up in 5 years, block your money for a longer period. That is the way. Saving and investment, they go hand in hand. Saving is the first step towards investment. Similarly to as the tax saving is the first step to wealth creation. So if you need the money and you need to break it down, don't lock it. If you are having all these things covered and you have a say good income flowing also, and you have a say backup plan as well, that in case emergency is there, you can borrow from your family, friend, father, whatever your say source of income is there. Then you can actually say go in for a say investment part or blocking your money. If not, then keep it liquid or in a say investment which can be broken easily. So I don't know the name. 19 AFF something is written. Sir, is it possible to increase your retirement plan premium? Like mine is 2 lakh now, and in case retirement come term plan, can I increase to 5 lakh or need to take a new one? See, every plan comes with a rider. You need to read the fine print very carefully before you actually go in for that. Then, what is the retirement plan payout system? Is it a monthly? Is it a say yearly, or is it a quarterly system? You need to do that. Mostly, my retirement plans come with a monthly option. But then the thing we have to realize is that topping up the premium of a particular plan when you have other maybe better options available right now. So do your research, look out for the options, and then if there are not better options, then you can top up your existing plan. Otherwise, get a new one. Okay. Dr. Sabyasachi, should I continue SIP with contribution or should stop contribute and let it grow? It is an individual choice, Sabyasachi. The only thing is, at your age, if I believe you are in your early 30s, uh, you need to do it continually till you retire. For young people from 25 to 55, you plan to retire at 55, there is no substitute, even in today's times. Yes, the money will grow at a lesser pace, but then your expenses are also, say, going at a lesser pace. There is nothing to worry about that part. So, thank you, Rohit. So, bye, Manjinder, no issues. Thank you. Okay, Dr. Anu, 19. Okay, man. Sorry, it was not clear. You can rename yourself. So, any more queries? I'll be more than willing to take them. Rajat, any queries from you?
So many.
Many? Puchoge?
But this is a basic session.
Yes,
My
yes.
queries are not for the basic session right now.
Sure. No worries. We have the whole day, and I have 4 sessions, 3 after this. So do join me in on Made in India Dentistry group, and then again on the Zoom platform at 4 p.m. and then on the Endo Haveli page, not on the Endo Haveli group, but on the Endo Haveli page. So yes, the session will be streamed there from there to group as well. But I hope it was a fruitful session for you. Kindly do put in your feedback in the group uh, as I always say, because feedback is the key to success, and that keeps you motivated and growing. Thank you so much. Take a leave here. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.